they yelling recall. Saying something that it's like a seesaw. Don't cry now. The first day behind the G-wall. On the views and in
Yo, welcome, it's your host E-Pixel. This is another episode of What's Going On? Y'all know the shit. On this particular platform, I bring y'all current events, anything they gotta do with jail directly. Unlike G-Wall Chronicles, we do interviews. This is up close and personal, just me. Now, this particular episode was a crazy-ass episode, right? A crazy-ass episode. This one is about a young man by the name of Jarvis Moore, right? Now, we're gonna get into Jarvis Moore, but I want to tell y'all how the commissary run in prison, right? So now you got your tuna fish, right? You got your crackhead soup, right? You got your motherfucking Pop-Tarts and shit, right? And then you got the infamous Honey Bun, right? Now, your man, Jarvis Moore, let me show you how far he went for some honey buns.
Every day for over 2 decades, Jarvis Moore walked into the Morgan County Jail and went to work.
I've done everything that there is to be done there. Something that I wanted to do ever since I was a child.
But on Friday, he walked through a different door, turning himself in on 7 counts of felony extortion. I've contacted Morgan County officials to get to the bottom of the charges, but due to courthouse renovations, the filings are delayed. Moore was told this stems from his firing in September.
And they told me that I was being terminated for taking honey bun and store items from inmates.
You heard that right. Honey buns. Moore doesn't deny taking the honey buns, but he says he was simply following orders.
This idea's been going on for years and years.
He says when inmates started a fire in the jail, it was policy to take commissary from inmates who started the fire and give to others.
The honey buns were actually given to another inmate to clean up, or the items. There was nothing ever kept in possession. It was used as a tool to stop burning in the jail.
Moore and his attorney Scott Morrow believe this is much bigger than 7 felony counts for 7 honey buns.
It's retaliatory.
Now, could you imagine you an officer, you make about $75,000, $95,000 a year. You come home and you tell your wife, your husband, you lost your job, your pension, your insurance, because you stole some motherfucking honey buns?
What's going on?
Nigga, you stole some fucking honey buns, but you know what? When I first heard this story, I was totally gone. I said, this nigga did some shit. I said, no, it gotta be a little deeper than that. It gotta be something else going on.
It's retaliatory 100%. His problems began specifically when the John Scott incident occurred.
John Scott Jr. died in jail custody in April of last year. This video of Scott Jr. being dragged through the jail was leaked in May. Moore says he was asked multiple times if he was the one who leaked it. He believes it's the main reason he was passed up multiple times to become the first black lieutenant in Morgan County history.
That was one of the main goals that I wanted to do, and that would have been even stronger to help people.
Moore says he was placed on administrative leave each time a position came up.
One thing, he's African American and they don't want him to be a lieutenant. And then because he supported Anna Franklin in that video.
And if she's back in office again, I can assure the citizens of Morgan County you will see significant change.
Moore posted this video 5 weeks before he was charged.
They wanted to keep their thumb on Jarvis and keep him down, and they came up with this honey bun criminal charge.
A spokesperson from the sheriff's office told me.
Now, I want to take it to a dude named John Scott. John Scott got killed in prison in April of last year. You can see from the photo right here. John Scott, his death was determined. They tried to rate it as they said that they put him in a room, but he's supposed to have killed himself, right? But we all could tell from the injuries that he succumbed. That he had a torn pelvis, neck fractured, broken bones all down his body. They fucked him up real bad, as you can see from the video where they was dragging him through the jail. Now, the fact that somebody stood up, a black officer stood up against a white officer, you see how real shit get in jail on their side of shit. The black man stood up for a motherfucker, and you try to put that he stole some honey, actually fired him and indicted him. Had to turn himself into the courthouse. You indicted that man? And y'all said that man stole some honey buns, and if you did do that, my G, what the fuck? You trying to build up your motherfucking sugar count, my nigga? Like what was going, bruh? This is the premise of your indictment. Some honey buns. Now, whether he did do that, he's a goofy. But if he didn't do that, look how low they'll go to put something on a motherfucker. If they do that to their own, imagine how they set niggas up in the jail. Imagine what they would do to an inmate. You'll put some shit like this on your own. Imagine how you think they do to black men and black women when they come through that motherfucker. This is black staff. So you know what time it is. Just right here letting y'all know, nigga, don't come in here doing too much. Don't do that. Don't do that. Hell no. Don't do that. So now, what's going to happen with this situation? I'm going to follow it. I'm going to stay tuned to it. I'm definitely going to tap in with it, right? Now, it's another topic I wanted to speak on, right?
We're following up on a high-profile case in North Alabama, despite members of the Decatur community continuing to press for answers in the death of John Scott Jr. Investigative findings from his arrest and subsequent death remain under wraps. News 19 investigative reporter Dallas Parker joins us with the latest regarding the death investigation findings. Dallas?
That's right, Lauren. Authorities confirmed that all of the investigative materials in the death of John Scott Jr. are under review by the Morgan County District Attorney's Office. The DA has been in possession of the findings since last week. And according to the Madison County Sheriff's Office, the case was transferred after Decatur police body camera footage and it was gathered and autopsy results were completed. Now, the investigation stems from a violent arrest in April in Decatur after a mental health call. Scott was seen on Morgan County Jail surveillance cameras being dragged across the jailhouse floor. Scott was hospitalized in a coma and died days later. The Madison County Sheriff's Office led the investigation before turning over those findings, like I said, to the Morgan County prosecutors. Now, as of Monday, Morgan County DA's office is still reviewing those findings in a death investigation. The DA's office had no further comment as for when the findings would be released to the public. But meanwhile, Scott's family has filed a federal wrongful death lawsuit against the city of Decatur, Morgan County Jail, and multiple officers.
Now let's get a little deeper real quick. Now, in the year 2026, we all kind of know that mental health, mental illness is a major thing that's going on right now, right? I want to touch on a story that came to me recently, similar and has something to do with this, and it could have went that far. But a young lady, her son is mentally ill. He skipped some meds and wound up like tripping out and attacking her, right? So when he attacked her, a machete was involved, a knife or some shit like that was involved. She called 911, and when 911 arrived, they came as if they were subduing a criminal in possession of a knife, and they wanted, they're gonna lock him up. They're gonna put him in the county jail. They might rough him up a little bit, depending on how the arrest went. He got to go through court. He got to go through magistrate, bail, etc., right? Now, the mom is in a situation. She's like, well, I didn't want them to lock him up. I just wanted them to calm him down, right? So in a situation like that, don't call 911. Call 988, right? Or you could text 988. It's 24/7 available. It's a hotline. You can always reach out 7 days a week, 24 hours. Don't call 911. Call 988. If you press in a situation with somebody that's going through mental health, put yourself in safety. Call 988, especially if it's like a family member or a friend and you know he's just tweaking and he don't mean what's going on. Get yourself to safety, of course. Get yourself to safety, protect yourself, but also remember, 988 is like a non-emergency type of situation where they'll come and it's not like they're coming on violence or coming to put foot to ass. They're not coming like that. They're coming knowing what they're dealing with. Somebody that's dealing with mental issues, mentally challenged, and they're going to handle it the correct way instead of coming with brute force, like if you called 911. So, with this episode of you could take that with you, 988 instead of 911, and it'd be a whole different outcome and situation. with the situation with the guy John Scott. We're going to stay on top of that, as well as the other things I touched on in previous episodes. With Jarvis Moore, the officer that's going to do that, right, as well. I'm going to tap in with him and his story as well. So like I said, there's a lot of build-up, a lot of things going on. And to close the episode, I want y'all to know, like, if you see how they'll do their own, imagine what they'll do to us. And that's another episode of What's Going On? Host E Pesos. Tap in, like, subscribe, comment, and most again, stay free. Peace.